But when it came to issues that applied right across your skin color or your roots, whatever they may have been planted in this country, east, west, north, south, we're all basically the same. And one of the hearings that really captured this business of why were we there. And I think I remember this one only because it was a surprise. So we had a couple of women as witnesses, and one of them was a person with a fairly severe disability, and she was being asked, why was she there, and what could she do if this bill became law? And she said, well, I could earn some money. Oh, what would you do with the money? I'd buy myself a beautiful dress. I'm sorry, I tear up when I think about it. I'd buy myself a beautiful dress. I can't do that now because of my handicap or my disability. And the second one was unlike that. The second one was a woman who happened to be a very successful stockbroker in New York City. She was 53, I think it was. She was early 50s, but she had a diagnosed cancer that was going to require pretty serious treatment. Her employer fired her. And she went back and pleaded, said, anything wrong with my sales record? No. Anything wrong with anything? No. But you got a terminal illness, and we can't invest in you any longer. Goodbye. Now, that is a systemic disability. There's something wrong in this country when a business that's in the business of making money, says because you have a cancer, you're going to die, and we can't afford the investment, afford the investment. It's a different way of looking at what's systemically wrong. And those kinds of things come back to me today as we look at race and the economics and things like that of race, because you can't exactly predict what a person's circumstantial disabilities may be. It's much easier to detect and translate, if you will, their physical or other disabilities. But, there are other related kinds of disabilities, if you just think about it in the context of what shouldn't be, what is discriminatory because of a health condition or a physical condition, which is what we do when we talk about people with disabilities.
Senator, you humbly talked about you did this, and all of a sudden it had passed this historic legislation. But there were pushbacks along the way. There were those that said, this is going to cost a lot of money. Businesses are just not going to accept this the way that we would do business. And talk a bit about some of those challenges, because there were many along the way.
Yeah, I think they're natural. By then I knew there's an instinct on the part of the business community, the employer community, to treat government as something that is there for their benefit. And if you don't see making the workforce available to everybody in a community, and if you don't see that one as one of the sources of their benefit, like that woman example of the stockbroker lady, something, you can't see that in your business, you're going to object to something like this. To say nothing of all the people that didn't like curb cuts, and they see the future, they see the potential. They don't look at their other brothers or sisters who are, quote, smarter than they or something like that. They don't look at them as though, why not me, or why me? No, they don't do that. And that's another one of the genius of human beings, properly raised, given every opportunity, that those of us who are, quote, successful enough to make the newspapers or, to make the promotion that year, or the pay raise, they don't, a lot of these people don't think that way. But what they did in my time, because people like me and Kennedy and Harkin and probably a lot more people like that as they got onto this, said, I'm willing to take down what I perceive to be a barrier in your life, like a learning disability or physical disability or whatever the case may be. Because I know, and you can tell me, there are certain things you can't do, or you will be told you can't do, one or the other. You know, the inspiration of the human spirit, given half an opportunity, is beyond belief. You know, I think this interview probably does more for me than anything else, because I don't get to think like this every day. I have a friend in my prayer group who everybody used to know as the managing editor of the Minneapolis Tribune.
Okay.
Then he retired. He wrote a book called Some Even Take Them Home. Most people don't know that. Some even take them home. Because he and his wife chose to take home their firstborn, who was severely disabled, physically disabled. And the doctor said to them, we have ways, but some even take them home. And I know Jason McGuire. He lives here in the Twin Cities. And I can see why they took him home, because, he's better than his old man. Let me put it that way. He's nicer than his old man, But the fact that Dad wrote a book, some even take them home, to describe the fact that he almost missed the boat